So one thing that we're really excited, our European customers have been asking us for a long time. Can you host your cloud, your cloud products Catalan in region, right? Inside of the EU region. And we are happy to say that we are going to do that in 2026, in the early part of 2026. Many of our customers have very strong restrictions on where their information can be. And obviously EU is something that it's a very large market for us. So we are finally being able to bring that capability in Europe. So our public SaaS products are going to be available in the AWS cloud in Europe to make sure that those regulations and those requirements really for data residency are respected, and then our customers can leverage those capabilities. So this is coming in 2026 in the early part. We're really excited about that. And I'm sure many of you guys here on the call are as well, because you've been asking for a while. The second capability in 2026, the major capability, will be the enhancement of API and mobile testing. So API, if you think about it, is really form-based, right? The way you test it, the way you create tests, the way you interact with the test itself. We're rebuilding that capability to be more AI friendly, meaning to be much more the user experience to be much more natural as you want to create tasks, and again leveraging AI to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, so that you don't have to focus on the structural creation of an API test. Instead, you focus on bringing your SME knowledge and application knowledge in order to do the testing, and let the AI do the heavy lifting. Same thing with mobile. Excuse me. We're also revamping that and adding some capabilities into the platform that will enable you to have to do mobile testing much faster. We saw a highlight of the enhancements we did on the Test Cloud. We're also making lots of enhancements, let's say on TrueTest as an example. Next year, in the later part of next year, we're also going to be able to do mobile testing, real user monitoring on the mobile native applications, and as well as API. So TrueTest being able to map out those API calls along with the user journey flows that it's already capturing. So a lot of enhancements and AI-powered enhancements for API. Now, one of the things that is really, really cool is that we are going to be bringing Playwright into the Catalan platform in different phases, right? And we are essentially bringing those capabilities across the different products that we have in 2026. So one of the things, for example, that we are planning to start, and this is, again, roadmap for next year, is, hey, if you have Playwright and you want to run it in the Catalan platform, fine, let's run it. We have, Task Cloud, you have different capabilities. Let's do that. Let's compile those reports. Let's do the analytics, the AI-powered analytics that I mentioned earlier. Let's do all that because you've already made investments in Playwright. So, you want to essentially leverage that investment and then continue building on top of that with the Catalan platform. So there's a lot more things that we're going to be doing and integrating with Playwright in the next year. Again, based on your own requests and feedback that we've heard, and I know many of you guys here on this call are going to be super excited with that as well. So just again, a thank you for always being the partner and the voice that you are to help us build out our roadmap and build the capabilities that really matter to you guys. Believe we have we don't have to go dive into the more detailed roadmap, but I will say here, and then I'll turn it over to Disha. I will say here, if you guys are interested in any of the capabilities you saw today, anything that's coming, and also if you're interested in a deeper dive in the roadmap, like the detailed roadmap, please reach out to us. We have a lot of things that we're cooking that we want to get to, we want to share with you guys. take feedback. So do reach out to your account manager, your customer success manager, and smoke signals, whatever. We're here for you guys. And Disha, I'll turn it back to you for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I want to quickly launch our last poll here before we start losing all the audiences. This is about let us know which features today that Alex talked about you want to see more resources on, you want us to maybe spend more time on in the next webinar. I think this information is very important for us. It'll help us um, sort of drive both the next topics, resources, videos that we can send out to you guys. Does look like AI requirements, analysis, and test design, migration of manual to test automation, AI executive briefings at 50%, MCP Studio enabled again at 50%. Okay, so I think the basic AI requirements, analysis, and test design are leading at 80% and migration from manual to test automation. Okay. All right. I guess in the interest of time, I'm going to end the poll here and share the results. So yeah, we have AI requirements analysis and test design, 76% migration from manual to automation test, 82%. AI executive briefings and failure analysis as 56%. And MCB enabled studio and test ops at 47. Again, I know that's new, very brand new feature, so it's exciting to see that, and that's definitely something we were also planning next. And then we have a kind of a tie at the last two there. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, I think we still have some participants, so maybe Alex, we can take a few questions here.
Yeah.
I think there are a few questions on TrueTest from Arup. For TrueTest, if I generate
Okay, let me see
test
here.
trace from prod environment and then add some custom validations to it and rerun on QA environment, would that gap be closed? If
Right.
not, is there a way test ops can listen to the TrueTest project executions and determine the flows plus steps that were run and then decide to close the gap?
Yeah. Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, so you're onto it, Arup. So as TrueTest is listening to user journeys in production, and as you have TrueTest in your QA environment, and then you are running your regular manual testing cycle there, now you have traffic, right, from both QA and production. And now what TrueTest does in that diagram that I showed there, or that picture, is basically overlaying both maps and showing, hey, here are the flows that we saw in production. Here are the flows that we saw in your manual testing. Here's what's not matching, right? And by the way, this is if this particular flow that you're not testing in your QA environment, if that's important to you, then generate me that test from the production journeys that TrueTest has observed. So you do that very easily as that click of a button there, and then you can just run it as part of your regular cycle. So yes, that's I think that's exactly what you were describing there. Extremely powerful capability. Many of our customers that have asked for that said, "Hey, we do pretty decent testing, but we're still leaking defects to production. Users report issues, and we are like scratching our heads, like why? We do pretty good testing." So when you did investigate the root cause, is yours again, you guys told us that the way you are testing is different than the way people are actually using the application, and that's why you're missing some defects. So this capability closes that gap and brings you that power to really test like your users use the application, in addition to obviously testing or validating your requirements. You need both coverages, right? So you have to shift left, to really understand the requirements, prevent defect if possible, and then test as early as possible. But you also need to shift right, understand how users are actually using the application, and then bring that knowledge back into your QA, and then, have that holistic coverage across requirements and users. So thanks,
Yeah.
a great question.
And Alex, I think you probably answered Jason's question here, but that's just a follow-up. Can TrueTest identify least executed user flows rather than just the missing ones?
Yeah, amazing. Yes. So absolutely, Jason. In those, I'm gonna bring up on the screen here. In those, yeah, here in the flows, as you see, the thickness of the lines essentially denote the traffic, right? So the lines that are thicker are basically the paths or the flows that users go through the most, and then the thin lines are the ones that users go through the least, right? So, and you have everything in between, and you can filter those out by by percentages, by relative percentages, by absolute numbers. So you can, once you have the journey map, you can slice it and dice it the way that matters to you the most.
Yeah, so for your tiered automation strategy, TrueTest already does that tiering for you. So that would be simple to do. I guess one last question from Clinton here. If I have a list of manual test cases, can test ops convert all these manual test cases into automated tests with a push of a button instead of doing it one by one?
So you can do that today in Studio, although in test ops, you're going to be able to do that soon. But in Studio, you can do that. However, we don't recommend doing that simply because, as I said, the more things you ask AI to do at the same time, the worse the output will be, or the quality of the output will be. So what we typically see people doing, like our users doing, is taking, hey, this is a requirement, analyze it, tell me what's missing, like is it clear, testable, etc. Boom, and then it tells you, similar to the use case in test ops that I mentioned, right? But now you're doing that inside of Studio Assist. And then you provide clarifications, try again, and then, okay, now generate me, what are the tests that I need? It will list you 5, 7, 10 tests. Okay, let's create the first one. And then you interact with it to create, one by one, or, every 3 or whatever. But the point is, whenever you're interacting with any AI, and this is not just for testing, right? The more things you ask up front, the quality of the output will be less accurate, right? So you have, in today's level of maturity of Gen AI, you have to kind of take a more of a step-by-step based approach. So short answer is, can it do it? Yes. Do we recommend it? No. But and we have best practices around that our team can help you. And again, this is not exclusive to to Studio Assist or Catalan, the way we use AI in general. This is just the current state of AI in the industry. But great question.
Alex, do you want to take a couple more, or we can send them offline? Are you?
Let's see here.
I'm conscious you've been talking for a whole hour, so.
Yeah, my throat was failing there. Okay, so we answered that. Use browser. Yeah, okay, yeah. So there's one question here: is Catalan going to use the AWS automated AI browser? So as part of the more detailed roadmap that I didn't get to go through today, we have a capability. So we talked about the things that we already have today, and we are analyzing requirements, we're building tests, we're automating them, we're running them, right? But what we have coming here in 26 is, now that you have, let's say you have the manual tests in natural language, as part of test ops, for example, you can tell the execution agent to just go and run those manual tests on its own, right? So what the AI agent will do is it will pick up that manual test, and it will go through those steps, like test step 1, type in login or the username and password and click on login. It will follow those instructions in natural language without having an underlying script, right? So if you think about it, if you are a manual tester and you are in charge of running 12, 15, 20 tests on this particular period of time, now you have an army of AI agents that can help you execute those tests manually, right? But you scale that, and then you are following. If you want to, you're kind of just watching the execution of those by the AI agents, and then at the end of it, you have the results, and you can go through the results and all that. So that does leverage parts of the AWS automated, browser infrastructure. It uses other technologies as well that we have employed to enable that capability to be accurate, right? Because can AI do that today? Yes, it can. But is it accurate? Is it reliable? What is the success rate, right? So we've been using over the past year, we've been attempting different technologies and mixing different technologies to make sure that reliability of an autonomous execution is acceptable by our users, by you guys. So yes, Samit, this is coming here in 26 as well. Let me see if there's any other here that's different. Okay. All right. What AI features shown today are covered in current Catalan subscription versus what needs to be enrolled to? So if you have like a studio license, you have access to Studio Assist. If you have a TestOps license, you have access to those capabilities that we covered. Now, your admin, right, your administrator of your licenses, they have the ability to enable or disable all the AI in our products, right? So from a subscription perspective, yes, it's available, but your administrator of the licenses is the one who needs to make sure that your organization allows, et cetera, et cetera. So you are in full control, I guess that's my point.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just to wrap here, there were a lot of questions on subscription. Please reach out to us, your customer success manager. You can reach out to me directly too if you don't know who your account manager or CSM is. My email is disha.gosalia@catalan.com, and we can help you if whether your organization is enabled or not. Even more details on subscription. We can do trial subscriptions for you guys for TrueTest, test talks if you don't have that. So there's a lot that can be done here for you to just play around with it. So yeah, I will encourage you all to reach out to us. We are 15 minutes over, and I'm conscious of Alex's throat there. So I really appreciate Alex for you sharing your insights, experience, roadmap with us, and really huge thank you, to all of you who attended, participated in the poll. I think your feedback is definitely going to guide what we bring you next in this series. Again, as always, a recording will be shared with you. So feel free to revisit anything. Please share out to your teams. We appreciate your time, your engagement, and your partnership. All right, everyone, have a great rest of the day, evening, and we'll see you in the next session.